The Brian Mudd Show is on News Radio 610 WIOD.
Speaking of matters of the law, joining us is criminologist Dr. Carmen, and taking a look at the situation, the attack at the Capitol last week, and we had all kinds of breaking news on Friday, and one of the stories out there about the Capitol Police and the car that ended up ramming a barricade that unfortunately resulted in the death of a Capitol Police officer. As we've come to learn more about the suspect, seems as though there are mental issues in the mix here. I want to get the perspective by Dr. Carmen. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
So, what do you make of this situation?
Well, it increases the concern across the United States that these attacks on the Capitol building continue, and more police officers are dying in the line of duty. A lot of experts, have been talking over the weekend, and many of us believe that there needs to be some permanent changes that take place in the Capitol building from this point forward.
You bring up a good point, and it's a concern that I've had with regularity in recent years, and that is that members of law enforcement generally become targets of bad actors. Are you seeing that more generally beyond just even the Capitol Police situation?
We are, even though most of those attacks, luckily for law enforcement, are not resulting in the death of a police officer. But nevertheless, we are seeing a wave, an increase of rhetoric, hatred, attacks on social media, and physical attacks from time to time on police officers. And so this is more of a trend than perhaps an anomaly. But I will tell you once again that our concern is that this will continue to be a target. The Capitol building has become now almost like a symbol, other than the democratic symbol that it stands for, but it's become a symbol of many of these attackers to go over there and try to make their name known.
That certainly doesn't inspire a great deal of confidence, but it's real what you're talking about, and it certainly is important. So when we talk about balancing what the Capitol represents to this country and access for the average American compared to the bad actors that you're talking about, what do you think is appropriate?
Well, I think that, many of us struggle with the idea that the Capitol building should be accessible to the public, right? After all, it's the people's house, right? So the bottom line is, aesthetically, we want to make sure that it's reachable, that people can still go take pictures and get to see the wonders of our democracy. But on the other hand, we also are concerned that, the police union in the Capitol building over the weekend basically said that the police officers are going to start walking out of their jobs because they don't feel that they're being protected. They don't feel like they're being given the tools necessary in order to do their job and save their lives. And so we are really at a tipping point right now that if we don't critically go in there and address some of those issues, we're going to see an end result that's going to be catastrophic for the entire nation.
Well, this has been my concern for some time, whether it is Border Patrol morale. We were talking about some of that last week and, end up getting a report that, morale is the worst it's been and it's difficult. And where, we see and hear these issues with law enforcement generally in the Capitol Police you're talking about. How big is the risk that at some point here, good people say, you know what, it's not worth it and just don't join the profession?
Well, I think it's pretty significant, right? Particularly because of the fact that the pay is not exactly a great pay. The benefits are simply not worthy of somebody risking their lives. And then the bottom line of it is that it's becoming more and more unpopular every single day to be a police officer. So we see that at the university, young men and women that want to go and join the ranks of law enforcement, when they're freshmen or sophomores. By the time they become seniors, they're thinking about maybe doing something at the federal level versus a local level because they know that it doesn't pay off, per se, to be a local police officer with lack of resources and risking their lives every single day for people that don't care about it.
Well, thank you very much for sharing the message and also the work you're doing to, hopefully find some solutions here along the way, too. Dr. Carmen, Tarleton State University criminologist. Thank you so much.
Thanks again, Brian.